Up next is the tip of the week. This is when we show you a trick or two on how to use a certain feature on your phone or within a given app. And now for this week's episode, here's your tip of the week. And now to close this week's episode is a tip of the week, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, is the Listen to This Page feature found in Google Chrome. Here's that tip of the week. Hi, for episode 185 tip of the week, this is demonstrating Listen to This Page. I am talking about a Chrome feature that makes it possible for you to listen to a page. Indeed, one could use the reading mode or one could use the assistant, but Google has also added a feature directly within Chrome called Listen to This Page. Prior till now, this was something that you could enable using the Chrome flags. However, now this is available and it's not something that comes via an update of the Google Chrome nor some Play Store component update. This is something that comes via server-side. For example, I can see it on my Pixel 4 that I'm demonstrating this on, and yet in the same breath, it's not available on my Pixel 8 Pro running Android 15 Beta 3. I am on my home screen and I'll navigate to the Google Discovery page, something I refer to as the Google Feed page. And then I'll pick one of the articles and demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'll now navigate to the Discovery page by swiping from left to right with two fingers since I'm already on home screen 1.
Home. Button. Anthropic releases Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Performs better. 8 hours ago. Android Authority. Heading.
So here I am with an article from Android Authority about Anthropic and Claude 3.5. I'll tap on this button to open up this article.
Chrome. 0%. Progress bar. 0%.
I am now on that page, and here are the steps as I posted on our email list a few days ago, how you go about reading the page aloud using the feature I just mentioned. The first step is to tap on the Customize Google Chrome control found on the top right corner of the phone. I'll now tap on that.
Customize and control Google Chrome button.
Let's go ahead and tap here.
Pop-up window. Forward button disabled in list.
Now we have a pop-up menu, and nestled between the Translate and Add to Home screen is the item called Listen to This Page. I'll now move my finger down to that and tap on it.
Listen to this page.
I'll go ahead and tap.
Chrome.
Anthropic
Customize and
Claude 3.5 Sonnet claims it outperforms GPT-4o and Gemini 1.5 Pro. Published by Android
Ringer
Authority.
vibrate.
Claude can't rival ChatGPT's popularity.
I'm going to double tap with two fingers to stop.
Anthropic AI has announced Claude 3.5.
Now, when I discovered this earlier this week, or was it over the weekend, last weekend, is that if you're listening to a page, for example, and you shut off your screen or navigate away from Chrome, the reading stops. However, I have noticed that today, for some reason, when I shut off the screen, it will continue to read. I'm going to resume that reading by double tapping, or at the bottom, you'll find the play button. I'll be getting to that here in a little bit, but first, I'm just going to double tap with two fingers to resume playback and then shut off the screen.
5. Its next generation large language model family. The mid-tier Claude 3.5 Sonnet model is available for free today, with larger and smaller variants expected later this year. According to Anthropic's figures, the new model beats GPT-4o.
Now, there are some features here that I want to show you before I bring this tip to a close. At the very bottom of the screen, though, we've got two buttons. We've got the play at the bottom left and then the close on the bottom right. Now, you can further customize this to your own liking. In other words, you can customize what voice you want to hear, and I'll now demonstrate how you get to those features. What we need to do is at the bottom, nestled in between that play on the bottom left and the close player on the bottom right is the title of the article that we're listening to. What you need to do is double tap and slide it over to the left, and that should pop up some controls. Here's what I'm talking about. I'll now double tap and slide it over to the left.
Anthropic releases Claude 3.5 Sonnet, claims it outperforms.
Now I'm going to double tap and slide it over.
Listen to this page, player. Swipe down to close.
I double tap and slided my finger to the left, and now it brings up some controls. And here's what we got, like toward the middle of the phone, toward the bottom, we got, starting from the left, we've got,
Go back 10 seconds, button.
we have go back 10 seconds, and moving to the right,
Play, button.
there's a play button, moving to the right,
Fast forward 10 seconds, button.
and fast forward. Those are the three buttons. Now, flanking those, below that are two buttons, one to the extreme right and one to the extreme left. On the extreme left, we have the speed control.
1x increase, decrease speed.
You could tap there to change the speed that you would like to listen to the page at. And then to the right, on the right edge, so directly across from that one on the left, is the more options. And that's the one you go into to make the other changes, like choosing a voice and all of that. Here's what I'm talking about.
More options, button.
Here's more options, and I'll tap.
Options menu. Swipe down to close.
You hear swipe down to close. In other words, if you want to close this panel, that is, whether it's the play panel or these options where we're looking at, you can just swipe down with two fingers and that should close that panel. So here's what we got in the options.
Back, button. Voice, expand.
We come across voice and it says expand. I'll tap here to expand this area.
Voice menu. Swipe down to close.
Moving on.
Back, button. Checked. English, United States, Ruby, mid-pitch, warm.
So the one that we're listening to by default when I started reading that article is called Ruby. And to the right of Ruby is the play button, and that's found on every single one of those voices that we have here below. So moving my finger to the right.
Play Ruby, button.
And move my finger down.
Not checked. River, mid-pitch, calm.
Here's River. Maybe it's our friend Riva from Minnesota. Here's how that river sounds.
Play River, button. In
Here
progress.
are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play River.
Move on next.
Not checked. Field, low pitch, bright.
Let's try Field.
Play Field, button.
Here are the
Pause
voices you
field.
can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
There, El Macho. Next.
Not checked. Moss, low pitch, peaceful.
Let's check this one out, see what it sounds like.
Play Moss, button. In
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play Moss.
I think I like that voice, although it sounds a little sad, if you know what I mean. Moving on.
Not checked. English, United Kingdom, cloud, mid-pitch, soothing.
We come to the UK voices, and to the right of this one is,
Play cloud, button.
let's sample that cloud.
Here are the
Pause
voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play cloud.
Next.
Not checked. Dale, low pitch, calm.
Remember, this is still under UK. Let's sample the play.
Play Dale, button.
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play Dale.
I believe that those are the only two voices currently for the UK English. Below that, though, we come across the Indian English, and here's what we got.
Not checked. English India lake, mid-pitch, calm.
Let's sample it.
Play lake, button.
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play lake.
Next.
Not checked. Air, low pitch, breezy.
Let's sample the play.
Play air, button.
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play air.
Next, we get to the Australian English. Now move on down.
Not checked. English Australia coast, mid-pitch, calm.
And we're on the first one called the coast. To the right of it, of course, the play button.
Play coast, button.
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play coast.
And the next one, which is the last one.
Not checked. Choral, low pitch, serene.
Here's the choral voice.
Play choral, button.
Here are the voices you can pick for reading out your web pages. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just tap the voice name.
Play choral.
And that's the last one there. And as you can see, the Australian, Indian, and the UK voices only have two voices each. And now the last option here, that is in the menu, in the more options.
Checked. Highlight text and auto scroll.
In other words, if you do have some site and you want to see the words that are being read, you could leave this one turned on. It's turned on by default, so it's highlighting the lines as it reads out loud. And that would conclude this little demonstration on the Listen to This page. Thanks for listening. And that has been the tip of the week for this week. John or Karian, do you have anything to say about the Listen to This page mode?
Sure. Yeah, great demo. I just wanted to also add something to it, though, that if you, obviously this doesn't work on all pages, but if you are on a page that it does work, you can customize within Chrome settings what they call the toolbar shortcut. And I think by default, this is a add new tab button. And if you want to change that button to something else, you can by customizing the settings. And now one of the options you have is to make that button the listen button. And then you won't even have to open up the Chrome more options menu to get to it. It'll just be right there at the top of the screen.
You are right. That's something I, for some reason, spaced out, but it is there. So if you do that, then next time you want to read something, you don't have to go through the menu. Thanks for observing that, John. That's really helpful.
Well, I have also something to say regarding this one, which is that the voices that they are using are different than the assistant voices, which is not a thing that I liked. In fact, for example, the UK voice that actually I use UK voices, and the UK voices that are used here are, well, worse. I should say that they are worse than the assistant read aloud feature. And you know that people who are using Gemini as the default assistant can't use the read aloud feature in the assistant. So unfortunately, if we're talking about that, as a replacement, the voices are not better, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, well, there are not a lot of voices. I like the UK voice, though, the female voice. I don't know why, but I like that voice. It's kind of like soothing, if you will. I like that voice. So if I were a UK user, probably that would be my default.
No, but it's not better than the male voice of the assistant, for example. The male voice of the assistant is something special, which is the same voice that the assistant uses anyway. So it's something really different.
Yeah, I've always liked the Daniel voice from the UK English. And if I were using the UK English, probably I'll be using Daniel. I really like that voice.